I want to tell you some of the key things that have helped me to achieve $50 million in sales. The number one thing is, why would you buy an existing Amazon FBA business? You're going to fast track your wealth creation. Did you know if you take your product and you take it to another country, the reviews follow? Are you serious? I even spoke to someone yesterday and he's like, Matt, I didn't know that. Why is that so powerful? It's because how do I even find a product? There are some hacks on how to do that. A lot of people don't know about this. First thing would be, I'm Matthew Fraser and this is Amazon Ecom Secrets. I'll be sharing with you the secrets that helped me go from millions in debt to an 8-figure entrepreneur. If you're ready to escape the 9-to-5 and live life on your terms, let me show you the way. Hey guys, welcome to this episode of Amazon Ecom Secrets. My name is Matthew Fraser, and I thought I'd do something really different today, and that is to do the episode from the road. If you've been tuning into this to my channel for a little bit, you'll know that I freaking love cars. So what a perfect synergy. We can do the Amazon Ecom Secrets and drive the cars at the same time. Because one of the things about being an entrepreneur and having a business and just being busy is I don't get as much time to drive the cars as I would love. Now, in case you want to know, the car that we're in right now is my latest acquisition, and I purchased this car about 7 months ago. It's a Mercedes-Benz C63S, which is a V8 twin turbo, rear wheel drive, 21 model, weapon of mass destruction. This thing is insane. I have always wanted this, and I guess the reason why this car really is probably so special is I used to have a picture on my whiteboard that I put up there. I printed the picture out, put it on the whiteboard, and it was during the time that I was selling off all of the stuff I had in the house when I was going through really tough financial difficulty with the restaurant. Things were just imploding around me, and I was selling everything on eBay that wasn't nailed down in the house. And I just remember thinking, that's my dream car there, the C63S. And I thought, one day I'm going to get that car. Okay, one day I'm going to get that car. So all the things I was selling sort of became irrelevant, but it was a means to an end, right? It was a means to an end to build up some cash flow, to help pay some bills. At the same time, I was also spending money on building the Amazon business, buying stock, trademarks, just a range of different things associated with that. Getting coaching, that was a big one. I spent money that I didn't have, right? Which was in the vicinity of $20,000 to $30,000 on Amazon training. So during a period where I didn't have any money, I actually put that on credit card and sold some stuff around the house. So this car now just makes it, I think, a little bit sweeter knowing that it was on the whiteboard, it was a dream, and now that I've done nearly, I think I've just crossed over roughly $50 million in sales across Amazon, Shopify, eBay, and a range of other things across the world, to now be able to go out and buy this car. And it sounds freaking amazing too. This V8's nuts. But guys, I don't want to rave about car collections all day. I want to tell you some of the key things that have helped me to achieve $50 million in sales. If you're someone who's watching this video and you're thinking, you're struggling to make ends meet, you probably, your electricity bills, the mortgage payments are through the roof, rent's through the roof, and you're just trying to think, how can I pivot to bring in more money? I've been exactly in that position. I was struggling financially, and so the number one thing, you're gonna be like, Matt, what is it? What is the number one thing? And it's not a magic pill, but what I can tell you is that the changing point for me that sent me on the trajectory to $50 million was getting mentoring, getting training, spending money on myself. Up until that point, I had no idea really what I was doing, right? So by tapping into someone who's ahead of you in the space that you want to go in, now it could be cryptocurrency, it could be share trading, it could be property. In my case, it was getting a business like Amazon where I could just put a product into the USA at the time, and Amazon basically took care of the rest. They sold the product to the customer, they delivered it to the customer, and I just got money in return. And I thought, wow, what an incredible business model. This is nuts. Because before that, and I still have this restaurant business now, actually, things came good again over time. But the restaurant business, you know, you've got, obviously it's bricks and mortar, it's got minimal margins, you've got a bucket load of fixed costs, including staff, and it's brutal. It's brutal out there. So I hear what you're saying. So that's the reason why I loved the Amazon business model, was because of those reasons, of the automation, and I can really sell to anyone across the world, and I can sit in my comfy home in Terranora now and just watch the money tick in. In fact, on my phone, which I've got an app on there, and daily I can check the sales. So if you're thinking about going to Amazon, do it, but the key is to get training from those who have gone ahead. Now, on that note, yes, I do offer training to people. There's really two tiers, in case you want to know. One is, I want you to see, as a beginner, are you going to be ready for this journey? And so what I provide in my my community is you can come in there for literally $49 a month, so it's basically free. There's a bunch of information about how I was able to achieve the sales I've got, but really I want you to take action, okay? I don't want you to read through all the documents, right? I want you to take action, and I've got this mini course in there. It's called the Amazon Launchpad mini course, where you can launch on Amazon within 5 hours, right? Totally insane. And the reason why that's so powerful is because it's gonna cost you probably under $10 to do it, and you're gonna get a taste, as in when I say $10 to do it, literally $10 to launch a product on Amazon, so that you can really see, is this the thing for me? Because I'm not saying that Amazon's everything, right? As I said before, cryptocurrency, share trading, property, whatever. There's many different ways to make money. I'm just gonna share the way I've made my money, right? And I want you to experience that, though, without having to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on either mentoring or training or anything. Okay, once you've had a taste, you can then make up your own mind. Hey, is this something that I want to do? And if it is, fantastic. And if it's not, then you can just walk away, and it's cost you basically probably less than $100 in total, okay? Which is a very, very small price to pay to figure out if this is what you want to do. And then so the second thing that I also provide is for those people who are inventors, who are already selling on Amazon, brand owners, manufacturers who have product. They can come to me, and I can either do two things. I can train them on how to take their product to the next level. That might be, for example, they're already in the USA and they want to take it global. I've done exactly that. Okay, so I can teach them how to do that. That would come under a mentorship program, one-on-one training. And the other pathway would be particularly for inventors or brand owners who perhaps do not want to do it themselves. I can do it for them, right? And I do it in a kind of like a partnership type of arrangement, and there's many ways of skinning that cat. So my community offers a variety of things for people at different stages. So what's the next thing I'm going to say is another bit of advice that I would give. One thing is, you have to take action. There's so many people that I know that are what I call serial seminar people, serial training program people. And all they do is go from seminar to conference to training program to buy this, buy that, learn how to do Facebook ads, learn how to do TikTok ads, learn how to do Amazon, learn how to do eBay, learn how to do property. But they never actually pull the trigger and do something, okay? And that's why if I go back to my program, I can get you live within 5 hours with literally like $10, okay? And you get a taste of it, right? And at least then you would actually have taken some action in that space, right? So I'm gonna give you a bit. And you know what I also hate is people who sit in the right-hand lane on the freaking highway. So guys, that's why it's so important that you take the action, because then you're gonna get the experience brings knowledge, and knowledge brings power, because then you can make other decisions. Yeah. I just want to give you just a quick example of something. One of my clients right now has actually launched his very first product, sold through 100 units, okay? And on Amazon. He's launched his first product on Amazon. But I've said to him, look, just because you've done this doesn't mean that we're married to Amazon. I don't care what you guys do, right? Amazon is just a tool to make money, yeah? But his next step, because he's done this, the next opportunity for him is that he can go and buy an existing Amazon business. And you're gonna say, Matt, why would you buy an existing Amazon FBA business? And the reason is you're going to fast track your wealth creation. That's basically it. Now, let me explain it. If you start a product today, it's going to take time to build up the reviews, to build the sales, to optimize the listing, to just dial in everything, okay? Might be as you increase your MOQ, you can increase your margins, right? This all just takes time, yeah? It doesn't happen overnight. Now, how can you make it happen overnight? You basically can fast forward. So pretend it's 5 years or 10 years down the track, and you've got your product and it's fully optimized. It's got 6,000 reviews. Now you're doing, like let's say you're doing $500,000 a year in, $500,000 a month in revenue, right? You've just truncated the time, because that's ultimately what can happen for you if you start now and into the future. But what you're going to do is going to get rid of all that time. We're just going to go skip that part, and we're going to buy an established business that's already trading, already making profit, already has all the reviews, the listings optimized, and that's how you can straight away start making profit. And that might be a way for you to get out of the day job that you're in, right? And people don't even know about this stuff. And that's why, if you're listening to this, hopefully your mind is just thinking, holy shit, I could actually just, now however you get the money, I'm gonna get to that in a second, but you could go and buy an established Amazon FBA business, and FBA means fulfilled by Amazon, which means they stock the product for you and then they ship it for you, right? You can go and do that today. Let's say your profit is $50,000 a month. That's it. That you can now live off $50,000 a month profit. That is the short version of that's how it could work for you, right? And you can get out of the 9 to 5 matrix job that you're in and start living life on your own terms. So now I've just given you the little nugget of how you can leave the matrix. But let me take it one step further. And this is exactly the same advice that I gave my paying client yesterday. Okay, so this is free for you today. And the trick is that, let's say you buy an established Amazon business. Now, most of these businesses are based or operating in the USA. And in case you don't know, people who live in the USA think that the world revolves around the USA, okay? That's just a matter of fact, right? And so therefore what they do is they don't take advantage of the opportunities that are outside of the USA. So generally speaking, you come across this business for sale, it's only operating in the USA. The very first thing that you could do to increase sales and profit is to open up that same Amazon product, as in launch it into the UK, launch it into Australia, launch it into Canada, launch it into Mexico. There is a pathway of what I would suggest in order to maximize the expansion of your product and your business. And that's something that I offer within my training. But that is just one little tip of how you could take it, let's say, from doing $1 million a year to then take it to do, even if it in the UK just did $500,000 a year, and in Australia did $500,000 a year, there's another $1 million a year, right? You've just doubled the revenue, and hopefully doubled the profit, right? Because now once you're buying more stock for these other territories, you're going to go back to the manufacturer. What are you going to say? Hey, I'm going to buy more stock from you. I'd like to get a better deal on the stock price, yeah? And that alone could maybe increase your profit by 5 to 10%, right? That's powerful stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing too. Now, if for those of you who are not on Amazon yet, it probably will go straight over your head. But if you're someone who's already on Amazon and you haven't expanded to other territories, this is going to be gold. Did you know if you take your product and you take it to another country, the reviews follow? Now, if you're on Amazon, your mind's blowing up right now. If you didn't know that, you're like, what the? Are you serious? The reviews follow from USA to other territories. Okay, because I even spoke to someone yesterday telling him this same information. He's like, Matt, I didn't know that. I thought if I launched in another territory, the same product, that the reviews had to start from zero again. I'm like, no, dude, that is not the case. You get to carry over the reviews. Now, why is that so powerful? Is because reviews equal money, okay? The more reviews you have, the more sales you do. Do the experiment yourself. Go on to, you probably won't know, but if you're someone who's selling on Amazon already and you've got some sales tools like Zonguru, where you can go deep into the listings and see how much revenue and how many reviews they've got, do that exercise right now. Go on, find some products that have got high reviews and see how much revenue they're doing. Compared to other products in that same category, you'll find that they sell far more. And I'm talking sometimes it could be the difference of $500,000 a month compared to someone doing $20,000 a month, because the one doing $500,000 may have 3, 4, 5, 6,000 more reviews. Reviews equals trust for the customer, and that's why people default to the one with the highest amount of reviews, right? Because keep in mind, they can't walk into the store and pick it up and touch it. They can only rely on looking at the Amazon listing. Powerful stuff. And now you can see just some of the opportunities that are there to grow your portfolio of territories around the world. I haven't even talked about going to eBay or Shopify, right? I'm just talking about just Amazon. You can become a multi-millionaire just on Amazon alone. So that is powerful, powerful stuff, and a strategy that many people don't even know about. Here's another strategy that comes up for my clients, because the strategy that I tell them, because this issue comes up for my clients a lot, and that is, how do I get funding, right? Because I just mentioned before about, hey, you're going to go and buy perhaps this Amazon-based business, and it might cost $500,000, $1 million, depends on the revenue, of course. And you're going to say, oh, Matt, but I couldn't possibly do that. I've got no money. Now, I want to say, stop telling yourself that. There is so much money in the world. It's insane, right? It's because you don't have any money. So you think that there's no money around, right? And it's that small-minded thinking. And I don't mean to be rude and say that you've got a small mind. I used to think the same thing. I'd be like, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. I've got no money. And I hear this so often. I even hear people say they can't do mentoring or they can't do training or whatever because they've got no money. And here I was, like, I don't want to be rude to them and say, well, why don't you sell stuff around the house? But because it depends on how bad you want this, right? It depends on how bad you want to break out of your existing financial situation. For me, it was freaking everything. My back was up against the wall so much that I had to do it. But I think some of the downside I see with people, and I know I'm sidetracking here before I get to the strategy, but the downside is that they're too comfortable, right? They're too comfortable. They're living, their bills are getting paid, they might be struggling a tiny bit, but it's okay. I don't want to have to put myself out there. I don't want to have to sell anything in the house to pay for some new training that's going to help me make millions of dollars, right? I'm like, are you serious? Okay, fine, stay in your comfort zone, right? But don't complain. That's the thing, right? Don't complain about, oh, you really want the Mercedes or whatever, right? You really want a new house, you want to make millions of dollars. Okay, so the strategy is that there's money everywhere. Okay, now what I've done in my community is I provide an incredible document. It took me months to put together. It's 102 innovative ways to fund your business. 102. Now you cannot tell me that out of 102, there's like, oh no, I couldn't possibly find anything in that. No. And so if you come into the community, you're going to get that document for free. right? And you can go through and look at all the different ways of how to find money, okay? Now, I will tell you, there's no free money, okay? So don't come in thinking, oh, it's just going to appear in my bank. No, there's things you're gonna have to do, but if you don't know, then how can you possibly even go and do them, right? So that's why I provide you those things. And that's why you can use that document to get the money to then get the business, the Amazon business, for example, which will then get you out of the 9 to 5 and you're on your way to creating the life of your dreams. And can I just say this too? The life of your dreams may not be Mercedes-Benz and car collections. That's totally fine, yeah? And it's really just up to you. It could just be something really simple, like I don't have to show up for a boss every day and I can afford to pay the electricity bill without having to put it on a payment plan. That could be your dream life. And if that's for you, that's freaking amazing. Yeah, I know I would have loved to have just been in a position where I didn't have to put bills on payment plans, or in my case, I had to put GST on payment plans. It was like for freaking like 6 years. I'd bring up the tax office and put them on payment plans because we didn't have the cash flow in the restaurant. So there's no stopping you now, guys. There's no stopping you, right? Come and join the community and get amongst it and get the tools, get the knowledge, to get the power to set up a life on your own terms. I'm going to tell you now, you don't have to come to the community if you don't want to, right? It's totally up to you. But I'm going to give you some gold anyway, right? And that is, where do I find these Amazon businesses? And you won't believe this, but there's actually like brokers, business brokers who specialize in online businesses, not just Amazon businesses, but content sites, SaaS businesses, which is service as a software, affiliate-based businesses, drop shipping businesses. There's a range of different business models, and these brokers facilitate the transaction between you and the seller, right? They guide you through it. It's all done properly. And these guys have been operating for years and years. I remember when I got into the space back in 2017, that they were around back then, right? So they're trusted. And so what are they, Matt? Please tell us, where can I go look? 3 places that come to mind right now. 1, empireflippers.com. 2, flippa.com, and that's FLIPPA. And the third is Quiet Light Brokers, right? Go to Google, type those names in now. Empire Flippers, Flipper, Quiet Light Brokers. And you can go in right now and just start filtering through the different business. The information it's going to give you there is A, what is the business method? In other words, is it going to be Amazon, dropshipping, or affiliate, for example? So the monetization. It may even say what categories. Is it in healthcare? Is it in automotive? Is it in clothing, right? We'll have all that. And it'll also give information about the cost of the business, how much money in profit it's making. And if you're willing to put in your details, and I suggest you do, so you load up your own information, right? You get qualified by these brokers. You can even go one step further and give them like a bank statement showing how much money you've got, right? So, you know, I'm not saying that everyone watching this is poor, right? There'll be people watching this who have got money. You'll upload your bank statement, let's say it's $1 million. You'll then have access into every business for sale that's $1 million and less, right? And when I say, I mean, look under the hood. You can get the P&Ls. You can find out if they've got a Shopify store, if they've got a trademark, a patent. You can actually find out exactly what the product is. It'll even have the Amazon listing right there. So you can find out straight away, boom, what are they selling? Okay. I know Empire Flippers even has interviews on some of their listings, interviews with the sellers. So you get an understanding of, you know, why they created the business, why they're selling. Now, just to give you an example, it was a lady who was Australian lady who had created this blow-up bed for aircraft, right, for kids, right? So you blow it up and it sits on top of the aircraft seat, and it was doing $150,000 a month in profit, right? Now, it was selling for, I think it was about just under $6 million to buy this business. Now, the product was patented, trademarked, it's got existing sales, and I thought, wow, what an incredible business to buy. What was the opportunity with that business was they weren't even on Amazon at all, right? They were only making sales through a Shopify store. So that's one what I saw the other day. Now let me tell you about another one which I thought was really interesting as well. It was selling nail scissors, right? Of all things, how freaking boring is that? Nail scissors. Now that is, if someone came to me and said, oh Matt, I'm gonna sell nail scissors on Amazon, okay, it's Amazon-based business, I say, absolutely not. That's insane, right? Because you're competing with it, and there's hundreds of nail scissors on Amazon. But why I thought this business was so good was because it already had listings. Yeah, the products already had thousands of reviews. So they've already been in the business for years and years and years, built up a customer base, built up trust with the Amazon customers, that the sales, and that's the only way I would buy a boring, generic type of business is if it was already established. I would never go in and start from scratch on something like nail scissors. Now, could you do it? Yeah, you could. Absolutely, you could. You could be like, no, Matt, these nail scissors are the best. They've never been seen before. I'm going to start from scratch in the Amazon marketplace, and I'm going to compete against all the other guys. Well, one, you're going to have to start selling them for like $1 to compete, right? Because you're going to have to be a reason to buy, and because you've got no reviews. And the other thing is you're just going to have to put in an absolute truckload of marketing dollars, right? And I have actually seen people do this, and that's why I would say it's a big mistake. Don't make that mistake, right? Thinking that you're going to go into Amazon and compete against established sellers in something like nail scissors that is super boring, where you have no differentiation point whatsoever. Don't make that mistake. So guys, the next thing that comes up all the time is, how do I even find a product? Yeah, and I can tell you there are some hacks on how to do that. A lot of people don't know about this, but first thing would be, there is software that you can now go out and use. And it's been around for a little while, but it was certainly improved over recent years too, especially with AI. And you can get this software and it will go into Amazon and basically hunt down products that it thinks are going to be winning products. And this software is cheap. I mean, some of it's like $50 a month, $100 a month. Not only does it tell you what products it thinks are good to sell based on profit margins and opportunities scores, like based on existing sellers and reviews and things like that, but it will also tell you, what are the existing sales with certain sellers. That's incredible. So it does like pull back the curtain on what the other sellers are doing. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you can actually outsource the product research. How do we do that? One, go to Fiverr, type in product researcher, and a whole stack of product researchers will come up. Now, what I would do is I would contact maybe 5 different researchers and just spend some money with them, right? You want to get a feel for how these guys operate and what sort of information do they give back to you. This is really important for people who are also quite busy, because product research takes up a lot of mental space and time. And if you're lacking in time, but you want to keep moving forward to get ideas, then you can outsource that product research, because these guys that do this, they will also present to you products that you'd never even heard of, right? And you would have think, you do the same thing I do. Wow, I never even thought of that product. And that could be your winning product, the product that you never thought of, and it may have cost you like $50 to find by someone on Fiverr. Maybe you're watching this video right now and you've got money sitting in the bank. I know someone right now, and you think no one's got money, but look, trust me, there's people out there who have got money. A friend of mine right now has literally 7 figures sitting in the bank. And he's like, Matt, what should I do with this money? And there's so many things he could possibly do, including, of course, an online business, which is one of my favorites, of course, whether it be Amazon business, Shopify business, It could be a content site, affiliate marketing, it could be any one of those types of businesses. It could also be property, it could be share portfolio, or even Bitcoin. But depending on where you are in your life, you may want to get cash flow, okay? And property to a degree is going to be difficult to get cash flow from because it probably will be negative cash flow at this point, unless you're paying cash. The Amazon Shopify type of business model is really powerful because it could generate you returns of 20% plus per year that you're not going to get that in property, okay? Now, even though I say, yeah, go invest your money into Bitcoin, the problem with Bitcoin is it doesn't generate cash flow, okay? Now, if you're super into crypto, you might say, oh, Matt, yes, you could go and put it in a staking pool somewhere. Yeah, you could do that, and you might get 5%. Okay, but it comes with a lot of risk because you're giving your Bitcoin now to another entity and praying that one day you're going to get that money back or that Bitcoin back. And there's just been too many things in recent years where, unfortunately, companies who have taken your Bitcoin, whoopsie, sorry, it went under. Sorry about that. Oh, can I get my Bitcoin back? No, that's vanished. Okay, now that's why I like to operate in scenarios where you're in more control, right? I self-custody my Bitcoin. I don't give it to someone else to stake. So that's one thing, but I'm also in control of my business. It's up to me what I do to generate the cash flow, which ultimately gives me more power and really more freedom. I understand if you're one of these people who are thinking about you want to make changes in your life, and because it might be your financial position, you want to make more money, you want to live in a nicer house, you want to have your kids, let them go to a better school. These are things that are really, really important to people. But I can tell you, one of the top things that prevents you from taking action is listening to other people's negative attitude on you, right? Because I find that ultimately people aren't happy for you if you want to do well, okay? When you're struggling, right, and they're struggling, they're best friends, yeah? Because you can struggle in misery together. But as soon as you step out of that zone and you're like, you know what, I've actually decided I'm going to go and do an Amazon business or whatever, I'm going to start making more money. At that point, they'll probably encourage you a little bit. They might say, oh, I don't know, I've heard some negative things about that, but good luck with it. But ultimately, when you win, they freaking hate it, right? Because it's a reflection on them, because they think to themselves, wow, I should have taken action too. And this other person did. And now they feel inferior, okay? Because you were at the same point and you went off and did something that they didn't have the balls to do. Because I know when you're going into this business world, and it doesn't matter whether it's business, investing in Bitcoin or investing in property, it takes balls to do it, right? And because everything comes with risk. You could start an Amazon business and it could fail, okay? I don't want to sugarcoat it and say everything Amazon is fantastic. I've done plenty of products that didn't work out. In fact, my very first product didn't work out, yeah, but that didn't stop me. And I was very, very lucky because I've got an incredible wife who is clearly the number one person in my life, the love of my life, but she's very, very supportive. And when that didn't work out, she didn't say, oh, you're hopeless. What were you thinking, spending all that money on that product and that training course and it didn't even work out? No, we just pivoted, right? Because I've got the knowledge. I just have to optimize it, just maneuver a bit to then get a better product. And that's ultimately what I did. I went to a better product, which has now led to $50 million plus in sales, and it's completely changed my life, right? And guys, so if I could just say this, you could be one product away to becoming a multi-millionaire. So isn't it worth paying 50 bucks or 100 bucks a month to get some training to help you do that? I'll let you think about that. Thanks for tuning into Amazon Ecom Secrets. If you enjoyed this episode, the best way to show your support is to give a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and Spotify, and make sure to subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss an episode. You can also find more at I'm Matthew Fraser on all social media platforms. Thanks so much. Take care.